just gone and done it. They've actually just gone and done it. Hutch literally had like a 2-minute meeting where everyone just came in the meeting room together and they were just like, alright, okay guys, we make a lot of money from Motorsport carbon fibers. What can we do to make it even better? Oh, I know. And then one guy's just like, why don't we just make a pack which is just slick tires and off-road tires? This is what it is. This is a boosted Motorsport carbon fiber and it looks really good. Like, this is a really good pack. I can say it right off the bat. Like, look at the legendaries and all the epics that you get. It's pretty crazy because what makes this pack so special is we need to look back at what the meta is about, right? Usually, when it comes to off-road situations, you use off-road tires because they are better than all-surface tires. When it comes to dry situations, you use slick tires because usually they are just better than cars with performance tires. Slick tire cars on average just handle better and have better MRA compared to performance tire cars. And then when it comes to wet, you use four-wheel drive standard tire cars. So basically the meta is like the safe way to go. The best cars to use would be, you know, four-wheel drive standard tires, off-road tires, and slick tires. And literally this pack is just slick tires and off-road tires. And a lot of these cars are Motorsport cars. So yes, this is a Motorsport car that is better. But anyway, guys, welcome to another episode of What Can You Get From That Pack. This is a very good pack. And if I'm going on holiday for the next couple of days. I'll be in Thailand. So that is the main reason why I will not be opening this pack, because I bought, you know, plane tickets. And I also bought tickets at a hotel. So obviously that's where my savings went. But yeah, I'm not going to be opening this pack. But you really should consider, because this pack looks really good. And yeah, let's just get into it today. So first of all, the Fiat Abarth 030. Obviously this car has fallen from grace a little bit. Used to be RQ 64, now 61. MRA isn't the best thing in the world, 71.3, but it's a lightweight car coming in at 910 kilograms. It handles quite well. And the 0 to 60 is the average. I would say it's just a daily driver though. It isn't real. I remember when this first car was introduced in Italian Renaissance, when there weren't a lot of slick tire cars on the table. This was like, you know, the next best thing. It's fallen a little bit from then, especially with the Guara's introduction when it's a cheaper car to use from World Expo, etc, etc. Still a decent car, but not the best anymore. Next one, the Abarth. Now I want to get the off-road tire cars just out of the way real quick. The best one of the best is the Opel Adam, and I'm gonna put that in Der Kaiser. That basically directly replaced the Opel Corsa. The Opel Corsa is epic now, so when it comes to the off-road meta, the Opel Adam is the car to use, and so is the Alfa Romeo. Okay, the Adam replaces the Corsa, the Alfa Alfetta replaces the 037. It still feels really weird to see some of these cars here, especially a lot of these X Super Rares, but it is what it is. The Alfetta is the new 037, the Adam is the new Corsa. They are going to be the best in their range when it comes to off-road meta for ultra rares, for front-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive. Now let's talk about everything else. The Datsun is basically just a worse Alfetta. I'll put in freaking provider, and these three cars are basically just all worse versions of the Opel Adam R2. How good are they significantly? Well, I'll put the Abarth and the Stillo in freaking provider because both of them handle very well, one in the front wheel drive and one in the rear wheel drive niche. And I'll put the Fiat Seicento in daily driver, mainly because it doesn't handle as well. And I know it's gonna weigh lower 0 to 60, but the problem is when it comes to off-road races, when it comes to, you know, off-road drags, your traction is pretty important, especially for that off-the-line acceleration, and you're looking for four-wheel drive when it comes to that. Front-wheel drive is a little worse. So the only time Seicento is actually going to be useful is in like a drag setting in front wheel drive only. That's when it will beat the cars like the Stillo Group N, but outside of that really small niche, in those really small situations, it isn't going to be used that much. Now let's talk about the four-wheel drive cars. The Sierra directly replaces the Colorado as the next best ultra four-wheel drive off-roader, and that's why we're going to put in Der Kaiser. The Bronco Concept is also going to be Der Kaiser, mainly because it is what the Sierra is, but for like 11 RQ less. And the Ford Ranger Raptor, I'm going to put it in daily driver just because it operates too close within the RQ of the Bronco Concept, and the Bronco Concept is better in almost every way. And then we have the Hummer H3T Concept. This is a pretty interesting one because it doesn't handle. It's also very, very heavy, coming in at 2 tons, 2,109 kilograms. I'm going to put it in Pernicious Ulcer. I understand once again it's got a really low 0 to 60, and I guess it's a bit harsh for me to put it in Pernicious Ulcer because when it comes to the drag settings, it is by right going to be a better car compared to the Seicento, mainly because they both have low 0 to 60s, but the Hummer has that four-wheel drive capability. But then again, it's only going to be better maybe on the quarter mile. It's got a lower 0 to 60. I mean, a lower top speed. I'm going to put it in pernicious ulcer. Very rare occasions where I think I'll be using the Hummer Ace 3T. Same thing for the AMG and the Nissan Xterra. I really don't know where to put these. I think the G63 I'll put in daily driver, mainly because it's a car that you can definitely upgrade now, and that 0 to 60 of 5.9 will make it a hill climb specialist for sure. Still, hill climb specialist isn't that much to talk about. And then we have the Nissan Xterra off-roader. Now this car is kind of underwhelming, not gonna lie, and the main thing about it is because the handling just isn't good, and it's also a very heavy car coming in at over 2 tons, 2,020 kilograms. All right, Peugeot 306 Maxi, definitely Der Kaiser, and the Peugeot Rally 504 is gonna fall under frequent provider because it is rear-wheel drive and it goes over 80 handling. It has some niches and it kind of balances that handling to low 0 to 60 decently well. And then we have the Suzuki Ignis, and that is definitely going to be Der Kaiser, and the Suzuki Swift Sport Cup 89 handling is also going to go under frequent provider. It's just slightly better than all the Fiats, but not that much so where it should be along with the Opel Adam. It's not that good. Then yeah, that's it for the epics. No meta outsiders over here. Most of the stuff is in Der Kaiser. It's a really good start. Now let's move on to the epics. I just say those were the epics, those were the ultra rares. Now we move on to the epics. The Abarth 124 Spider is one of the more interesting cars when it comes to Fiat because it is very light, 1,050 kilograms. So when you max it out, it'll be under a ton. 85 handling, a low 0 to 60 of sub 4 seconds, and decent MRA as well, 80 MRA. It's a jack of all traits kind of car, master of none, but it does manage to hit the jack of all traits in the right spot. Like what I'm saying is that 3.985 with 80 MRA, I would choose that over 4.084 with 82 or 83 MRA, if that makes sense. 94 handling is pretty good. I would give it frequent provider. It definitely has its niches as well, especially when it comes to Italian cars. If you want to use the cheaper Italian epic to use, this is one of the first ones that come to mind. Colorado ZR2, this one is tough. It's still really good, and it's definitely Der Kaiser when it's an ultra rare, but the fact that it's so much harder to upgrade now, I would have to bump it down to frequent provider. Still a good car, still handles well. It's just that it's just so much more troublesome to upgrade where I have to bump it down. The Fiat X19 Dallara is also going to be a daily driver. It is a cheap car to use, and it has good MRA of 83. It's very light at 609 kilograms. Handles, once again, it's okay. Like I said, 85 is just a lot more appealing than 84. And 4.3 isn't the best thing in the world. Isn't a great car, but it definitely isn't bad. Ford Escort Rally spec definitely is pernicious ulcer in my opinion. Some people might disagree with me on that, but the reality is it wasn't a very good ultra rare. It wasn't super meta anymore when it was an ultra rare, and the fact that it went up together with the 037 kind of just brings it down even more. And I'm gonna say the same for the meta outsiders for the Nissan Silvia. Handling is everything when it comes to off-road, and 81 handling just isn't good enough. I would give it meta outsider. And then we have the Ford Escort. I'm gonna give that daily driver. It's a very mid car, really. Like these two cars, it seems like they always tend to be in the same pack. I guess because they're both Fords and they both have four-wheel drive and they're both World Expo. But yeah, it's just that they're kind of big disappointments. The 037 is still the GOAT, and although it's went up in rarity, the 037 definitely still is Der Kaiser in my opinion. I maxed out my 037 as an epic. It is that useful, and I think I want to say the same thing for the Opel Corsa when we get to that. There it is. I'm gonna put it in Der Kaiser as well. I have 2 Opel Corsas max. One I use with tokens, the other one I use ultra rares to max, mainly because that still is the best car when it comes to front wheel drive off-road. It is the meta, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, the Opel Adam is great and all, it's the best ultra rare, but if you really want to stand out and be the best of the best, then you would put in the investment to max out your Opel Corsa again. Really strong car, definitely staying in Der Kaiser without a doubt. Ford F-150 Raptor, also Der Kaiser. It's always been Der Kaiser and will always be there unless it gets massive nerfs. The Ford F-150 SVT is going to be frequent provider. It's just a slightly worse version of the Ford F-150, and it kind of operates very close to where the Colorado is nowadays, so both of them being in the same tier makes sense. Now, this is an interesting one. The Ford Mustang FR500 GT. I'm not going to give that Der Kaiser spot. I know it used to be Blossom Choice, but the problem with this car is, I can't believe I'm saying this, the Ford Mustang FR500 GT is a hybrid. It's a jack of all trades, master of none. I can't believe I'm saying that for a 3.90 to 60, 80, 92 handling car. But the thing is, if you want the twisty specialist slick tire car, you go for the Ford Mustang GT4. And I know that the Ford Mustang FR500 has 90 MRA, but if you want to go for the drag specialist slick tire car, you go for the TVR Tuscan, because the TVR Tuscan has a lower 0 to 60, well, the same 0 to 60, a higher top speed, and way better MRA, 102.8. So it's like, it's a tough one. It really is. It feels wrong to put the FR500 GT in frequent provider, which is not a bad rank. It's just that if you want to go for a twisty specialist, you go for the Mustang GT4. If you want to go for a fast specialist that is epic, you go for the TVR Tuscan race car. It is what it is. That's the sad reality. Ford Mustang GTR concept is going to go under daily driver. It's just a hierarchy of Mustangs at this point. Jaguar XJ13 is one of those cars where a lot of people don't think it's very good, but it has so many freaking niches, man, because it is a 1960s car. It's also a convertible. It used to have performance tires, I think. Oh, it used to performance tires. It was moved to slicks. That's right. Okay, because of the slick movement, I'm moving it down to freaking provider. In my mind, it still had performance tires back in the day, but yeah, not anymore. 86 MRA makes it a very strong car. It has 83 handling, which isn't very strong, but it's got a low 0 to 60 and a very high top speed. Definitely a drag spec kind of car. Kind of like your 1960s Hellcat with a slightly worse MRA. That's what it is. Definitely has its niches though. Jaguar XJS TWR is a car that I really want to put into Kaiser. I really love the car, but it is just a worse TVR Tuscan. It is a lot cheaper to use, so I might re-look at that and put it up, because it has 98 handling, it has a high top speed, and it has 100 MRA. It's a very interesting case. Honestly, I'm gonna bump it up just because of how cheap it is to use. It is definitely going to be a bargain. Lancia Stratos HF Group 4. It has an MRA of not so good, I'll tell you that much. 63.69. It is still a worse Lancia 037. It is going to be meta outsider. Land Rover Defender Works V8. I would say pernicious ulcer, just because of all the new off-roader epics that have moved up now. The Land Rover, it doesn't really, you know, it didn't really withstand the test of time. Nissan Bluebird is still fantastic. Dirk Kaiser for sure. Nissan Silvia 200 SX is going to go under pernicious ulcer along with the Ford Escort Rally spec. The Nissan Silvia GT300, an interesting one, 83 MRA, 100 handling, very light with a low 0 to 60. It is a very similar car towards the Mustang GTR concept, and for that reason I'm going to put both of them together over here. It is a slightly better car in my opinion. It's lighter, it has better MRA, it has a lower 0 to 60. The only difference is that the Mustang GTR concept has traction control and ABS, which doesn't really matter because honestly you're not going to put down the rain. Yeah, you know what, I'm going to bump it up to freaking provider. Peugeot 207 S2000, interesting one. 73 MRA, but it just is the worst version of the 208. 208 I'm going to put in freaking provider. 207 I'm going to put in daily driver. Obviously the 208 was a car that was eliminated from Blossom Choice. The main reason is you don't really use four-wheel drive slick tire cars all too often, so because of that I'm bumping it down. 52 MRA isn't very good, but the 0 to 60 and the handling on the 208 with that 67 RQ, I mean, you can't lie, that truly is a bargain. Man, it feels wrong to put in freaking provider. It has to be Der Kaiser. Even though if it isn't Blossom Choice, it has to be Der Kaiser. That just feels right. The 207 is staying to the driver though. Okay, Porsche 911 Carrera. Where am I gonna put this? The Carrera, 81 MRA, 99 handling, very lightweight car, but low 0 to 60. Very similar to the Silvia, just slightly worse, so I'm going to put it in daily driver. I understand that it is from the 70s, so it has its niches, but I still don't think it's enough to push it up in my opinion. Okay, moving on. Porsche 924. Now this car looks really good, man. 100 handling, 97 MRA, under a ton, 945 kilograms. Really strong car. I want to put it in Der Kaiser, but it kind of is a bit of a hybrid at the same time. I'm going to put it in frequent provider along with the Mustang FR500. I am being really strict, to be fair, and there's still the most cars still fall under Der Kaiser. We have the Porsche 968. I'm a huge fan of this one because it has 100 MRA. It's light. It has 100 handling as well. You can't go wrong with this kind of bargain. I'm gonna put it in frequent provider. We got the Volkswagen TCR. It kind of is your front wheel drive meta as well. Not as much as the Opel Corsa, because the Opel Corsa is like, it is the best best of the best. The TCR is the best when it comes to non-prizes, but then again, there are prize car front-wheel drive like the Laguna, the Renault Laguna, which is better, which will outshine against the TCR. I will put it under freaking provider though. Still a very strong car. 102 handling for 68 IQ. I mean, it is still very strong. The MRA on the Volkswagen as well, 93.33. It is a very, very strong car. Okay, let's move on to legendaries now. Audi V8 Quattro. It is a saloon, man, and you know me, man. I love my saloons. Handles well. I'm gonna give it freaking provider. It's just not as good as the Subaru Legacy, which I'm putting into Kaiser. It is once again a saloon. It has 93 MRA now with that boost, making it very, very strong. The Audi that we just talked about has 82 MRA. Where else? The Subaru. Where is the Subaru on Top Drives Club? It's not listed here. Oh, it's listed here. 80. Okay, so they're very, very similar. I'd rather go for the car which has 4 more handling for the same RQ. And then we have the Bentley Continental GT3. Still, one of the Bentleys that look very heavy, but they're not. Also 100 MRA. It handles very well. The best Bentley in the game, honestly, Dirk Kaiser. Then we have the 2 Lancias. I mean, the 2 Lancias are once again going to be Dirk Kaiser. Honestly, every legendary here is Dirk Kaiser. This pack, dude. This pack is so good. This pack is really, really, really good. I mean, this is insane. It's a Motorsport pack, but better. It feels wrong to put any of these down, honestly. The Quattro, okay, that makes sense, mainly because, yeah, the Quattro directly competes with the Subaru, which is a better car, so that's why it goes down by a little bit. We have the Nissan R381 with 102 MRA, dude. And it's a bargain to use. 82 as well. You have the best JPT car in that Nissan, and then you have this thing. I mean, that thing probably looks pretty good. I mean, what is it? 91 MRA, 89. Oh, you know what? I'll bump this down. It's not good enough to be a ride-on-ride dragster. Top speed isn't tall enough. MRA isn't good enough, and the handling is not capable of hitting 100. So because of that, yes, I'm going to bump it down. I know that this Nissan over here can't hit 100 on handling, but it's a dragster and it has like 102 MRI, so it understands its assignments. This one, once again, the Lancia ECV, again, doesn't hit 100 handling, doesn't matter. 2.30 to 60, can't fault that thing. Cadet is going to be Dirk Kaiser. Pagani Zonda R is going to be Dirk Kaiser. 206 is going to be Dirk Kaiser. The trifecta of Porsches are all going to be Dirk Kaiser. Everything. There's nothing here that's bad. They're all good. I think Hutch finally understood that slick tire cars made the money, and so they're releasing this pack. There's nothing else over here. This is, I mean, bro, this pack, bro, this actual pack, bro. It's 2 meta outsiders and everything else is Dirk Kaiser. This is yeah. It's big. It's a good pack. It's a very good pack. If you should open it, I mean, if you can open it, go for it. I'm kind of sad that I cannot. But then again, I'm going to Thailand, so we take those. I'm off on a holiday, so I think you shouldn't be worried though, because when I'm in Thailand, I'm still going to be posting. I'm going to be making videos in advance because your boy works. But that's only if I have time to make videos in advance. I think I do. We will see. If I don't post for a couple of days, then you will know why. But anyway, that's going to be it for today. Definitely go and open this pack. You will not be disappointed. If you do get these 2 epics on Meta Outsider, unlucky. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. Remember to stay safe, wash your hands, and blossom out. Peace.
Bro, this song just makes me so happy.
Me too.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly, got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly, got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Sit back, relax in my Bonneville Pontiac.